everyone. You're watching Global Leaders Network, WINTV. I'm your host, Yesayun. There are many leaders globally in areas such as government, nonprofit organization, business, art industry, and etc. Global Leaders Network invites these leaders and shares their wonderful stories. Today, I invited jazz players, Phuong Pham Trio. How are you guys today?
Excellent. Thank you for having us.
Would you please introduce yourself and what instrument you play?
My name is Phuong Pham. I play piano and keyboard.
My name is Robert Simmons. I play upright and electric bass guitar.
Leonard Reese. I play drums.
Okay, then who actually came out with the idea launching this Phuong Pham Trio?
It's me. So I play jazz, and I love to introduce jazz to audiences. And we have been knowing each other for a long time, and we feel like it's very suitable for us to create a trio. So that's why I came up with the idea. Also, my origin is from Vietnam, and I like to introduce folk music, and also combine with jazz improvisation to create a new sound in jazz, and introduce it to the audiences as well. The folk music in Vietnam using the pentatonic scale, it's very similar to some of the forms that we love playing, and it's just beautiful, such a beautiful folk song that. And it's worked very well with the jazz music, so that's why I want to create the group to do that.
Oh, I see. That's why you kept your name, Vietnamese name, Phuong Pham Trio.
Yes.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like origin a little bit. Right?
What kind of difficulties that musicians faced nowadays? Who can answer this?
I think some of the great difficulties that musicians face is getting a live audience. In Chicago, there's an amazing abundance of musicians and clubs for us to play, but they're just not frequented as much as it used to be in the past. So getting an audience and getting the live music out is always a challenge.
I see. You guys gonna show us, some 2 or 3 songs today, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I have a question that how did you know that you have a talent for music, and when was it? Maybe go from here? Can we do that?
Okay. So I'm not sure if I have, such a talent, but I do have some, skill developed when I was start learning piano. It was like 6 years old when I started. I practiced a lot of classical music, Mozart, Haydn, Beethoven. However, when I was about 15 to 16, a friend of mine introduced me to jazz, and asked me if I can play like all of me, take the A train, things like that, in the mood. And I was like fascinated, with the jazz sound, and I didn't know how to improvise or anything like that. But then I came home and practiced, and I feel like it's in my blood. So I started to play more, and develop the sound skills, and get more gigs, and I play since then.
And he has also you have a bachelor in music and a keyboard accompaniment,
yes, I have bachelor in music from my country, and I have master in DePaul University.
Jazz.
In jazz studies.
Okay, I understand. What about you, Robert?
I grew up in a neighborhood where music was just abundant, and there was one particular band in my neighborhood, and these were the older guys. I was probably 9 or 10 years old at the time, and my friends, their big brothers were the neighborhood musicians. And I remember the first time I ever touched a guitar, all of the band members had gone somewhere, and my friend invited me up. And never having played a guitar, we just started playing together. One of them jumped on the drums and had no clue what I was doing, but what amazed me was the kids were outside dancing to the noise that we were making. And from that day, I was hooked on guitar. I didn't do too much formal study. I'm probably 70% self-taught, but I've studied a lot of theory from different really great players. I grew up, unlike Phuong, I grew up listening to mostly rock. So listening to the music that was happening in the 70s and the 80s, as far as rock, that's what impacted my soul. And I turned to jazz. Truthfully, when I started listening to the jazz for the first time, it was confusing. And so I learned to understand the language of jazz. Then it just became so part of what I do. And I still play jazz. I think most of us play different genres of music. I play jazz, I play neo soul, funk, punk, blues. I've even played in country bands. It's just music. And music wins the heart and souls.
I see. And Leonard?
Well, mine pretty much started with a desire.
Okay.
Once I started hearing other musicians, seeing other musicians play, and it really became obvious to me that I wanted to play the drums once I saw the drummer in church, and I said, "Wow, I want his job." So, but even before that, just listening to the songs, the music my parents played, which was rhythm and blues and jazz, and I didn't get a chance to really start playing jazz until I was in a jazz band in high school, and was introduced to jazz that way, and that was just it for me. I was, as they say, smitten. And so even today, I remain a perpetual student of it. I mean, and obviously, I won't say obviously, but we got the chance to do more gospel and blues and rhythm and blues than we had the opportunity to do jazz back in those days.
I see. How many days do you guys practice?
We practice 2 times before the show. Every time we have show, and then we exchange ideas and songs and compositions and arrangements through emails and messages.
I see. I know it's very hard to improvise on keyboard, and then you have done greatly lately, like trill all over, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How difficult it is to improvise in that key, you know? You have to do it so many times, right?
So in jazz, we improvise based on the form of the song. So depend on the song, we might have like a very simple form or like a very complex forms. We all play on it and the harmony of that key. So first we have to know keys and scales, and then we can freely express ourselves through improvisation.
I see. So
I think a lot of it has to do with, like he mentioned, scales and modes and patterns and keys. But when it comes to improvising, it's time to empty yourself of all of it and just let it happen. It's already internal. You know the theory behind it, you know the math behind it. I love it when he improvises on the piano because he just gets lost. And when he gets lost in what he's doing, it just frees us up to just play even more, because he inspires us to play better when he improvises, because we hear where he's going.
I see. Then what did you actually decide to play jazz instead of playing other genres, like a classical music and hymns and stuff like that?
Because that's like I mentioned, it's expressly like freely, and it has to do with emotion as well and technique. So yeah, I just love the way, and it's also the way we interact with the audiences, more free instead of like versus classical music or some other forms and genres. So that's why I like to play jazz.
The involvement
Yeah, the involvement in
of
with audiences.
Okay, okay, that's a good answer.
Yeah, when we play, our audience becomes part of the music. I know as a bassist, my job is to play the roots, to keep the foundation going. And a lot of times that foundation impacts what the audience hears and how they feel. So I'm always looking to get a response from the audience.
I see. Another question I want to ask you, actually to Leonard, that how can we enjoy jazz? In other words, how can we actually interpret the jazz? Because as audiences, we have no background in jazz, that we want to know how can we enjoy the music.
How can you enjoy the music? Just the energy from the musicians, and it's like a give and take. Based on what he was saying, his playing the roots of the song and feeling the audience. Music is enjoyable. It's just an enjoyment from both musician to the audience.
I see. The last questions that I want to ask each of you, what is a success to you and what brings you happiness? One by one from here, okay?
Okay. It's pretty hard to define success. In life, there's many ways you can define success, right? Like maybe money, maybe career, maybe like hobby. But in terms of money, look like we don't have much money as a musicians.
Very true.
So we enjoy playing, and we enjoy the interaction with the audiences, and we show what we love to people. That's and it's more like a happiness to us to play and to be successful in terms of showing what we love to people.
I see. And then
What he said was very true. There's not a lot of money in jazz, but I think the definition for success for me is when I do a gig, I'm just speaking musically, and I've got a plethora of songs to learn, and I study and I practice, and you go on stage, and the reaction that you get, the response that you get from the audience and your bandmate, and the fulfillment that comes with playing the songs and knowing that you touch someone, sometimes is a lot better than money. And that means success for me.
I see. And then Leonard?
I would define success for me as just having the opportunity to do what you set out to do. So we set out to play music, and getting that opportunity to play it and getting through a song successfully.
Not always happens.
It doesn't always happen.
Navigating.
But you get through it, and that's success for me. Just the phone rings and say, hey, we're going to play XYZ. That's success for me.
The two of you guys actually mentioned that musicians are struggling because of money, right? How can we help them out then?
I think it goes back to what I said before. Supporting live music goes so far in the community. No matter what community, no matter what type of music you play, just come out and support the local musicians. That makes it so much better for us.
I see. So what kind of song you're going to play today?
We're going to play Inchworm and All of Me.
Okay. And do you guys have any events coming up soon?
Yes, we are going to have a Christmas concert.
When?
It will be in December.
Sometime December?
sometime
Okay.
in December.
Okay. That sounds so great. Thank you so much for coming to our station today and sharing your story.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
for having us.
Thank you for watching Global Leaders Network WINTV. If you want to watch this again, you can actually visit our YouTube and our website. And don't forget to subscribe us. And I want to see all of you next 9 p.m. Thursday. And until then, have a great week. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.